going on, Jerome's? So your Minnesota Vikings are mercifully just a couple of days away from finding their future franchise guy in all likelihood. And the Vikings, they got everything. Offensive-minded head coach, great facilities, great offense, great defense, and weapons and all that stuff, right? And Kevin O'Connell, so he understands that offensive-minded head coach and a great quarterback can synergize and have a great relationship and bring home a dozen Joe Bardys in the next 10 years. You see that as a trend in the National Football League. And even though I do have some hashtag faith in Sam Darnold, finding your guy long term does make a lot of sense. And speaking of faith, so Vikings fans, of faith, whatever you believe in, and I'm sure, prayers, energy, whatever. I feel like a lot of Vikings fans are just like, please, one time. And speaking of that, so Kevin O'Connell was at a event at a church in Plymouth this week on Thursday. The talk with O'Connell was called Faith and Leadership Coaching in the National Football League, and it's fantastic. And by all accounts, is like a really good in-depth conversation. Kevin O'Connell, I mean, he's a great leader of men. I feel like he's got a great head on his shoulders. And even though we criticized him last year, it's like, hey, what was that game plan against the Bears? But I do think that having faith in Kevin O'Connell is a smart move for the Vikings. And there's a Q&A session at the end. Of course. I mean, there had to be some draft and QB questions in there because that's where we are. They're like, this is peak draft season. Right, so we got the afterburners. Last Thursday is a week before the draft. It's just like Kevin O'Connell at a church event. Hey, what do you think about Drake May? All that stuff. It's really good. Our guy Will Ragg at Sports Illustrated had a great write-up of the event. Quote, so Kevin O'Connell was asked about quarterback specifically. Quote, for a couple of years, I've kind of been known as the quarterback killer when it comes to the draft in Eagan, O'Connell said, because the feeling that I feel, feeling that I feel from our fan base is when we get this next guy, he's going to be the guy. And I feel it. I know you guys also feel it. So I have to, I've had to, in a lot of ways, fight off some mistakes from being made, mainly because of the evaluation process I go through. I think about the things that are fixable. I think about the things that are coachable. And then you think about the things that, you could coach another 15 years with a player and you might not be able to fix. And also, Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi have only drafted one quarterback during their time together, and that was Jaron Hall last year in the 5th round. Now, Jaron Hall in 15 years is going to be 75 years old. Prudence. But also, so we're team draft a quarterback every single year. But also, I mean, Kevin O'Connell is talking about it where maybe he sees things that aren't scalable, things that aren't fixable, and is it a waste of time and draft pick if the Vikings just take quarterback? Sure. And also I think that does extend to the draft where if the right guy isn't there, I don't think that the Vikings will take him at 11 or make a move for him in the top 10 of the draft, which on one hand it's reassuring, but on the other hand it's like, you kind of got to do something. But also, if you're making a move for the wrong guy, and Kevin O'Connell doesn't think that he's the right guy, I mean, that does factor in. Otherwise, what are we doing here? We're just wasting time. And hope and faith are wonderful things. I do like them to not necessarily be strategies. I feel like that's just good advice for life. So have hope, have faith, but also do the damn work yourself. I do very much believe in certain principles of playing the quarterback position. I believe the lower half of any quarterback can be fixed with the proper coaching and teaching. And it's interesting because a lot of critics say that Drake May's footwork can get kind of sketchy at times. So that's exactly what he's alluded to. I think when you see the good things on tape, you see things that they can do better on tape. You're looking for a lot of different things and check a lot of boxes. And ultimately, when you feel like you find that guy, then you got to hope that 31 other teams are complicit in making sure that they can become a Minnesota Viking. But we only need one team to be complicit, and hopefully we find that team. So obviously he's alluding to trading up, not talking about sticking and picking in that situation. And also, big time respect to Kevin O'Connell because, I mean, obviously he's a football coach and this was a faith in football talk, but, a lot of coaches would have been, very dismissive. People bring up quarterback or, draft questions. And like, could you imagine Belichick got this question? Be what it is. Of course, Belichick drafted Kevin O'Connell, which is funny, but Kevin O'Connell, he gave a really good thoughtful answer, wasn't condescending, wasn't dismissive, and that's something I love about Kevin O'Connell. And he continued. Oh, the person who asked the question followed up. Maybe you could work your Patriots connection at 3. I may or may not have sent a nice bouquet of flowers to Robert Kraft the other day, O'Connell responded while smiling. Of course, the Patriots are the team that drafted him in the 3rd round, 2008, to be Tom Brady's backup. And also, of course, the Patriots are chilling at number 3. And I feel like number 3 is the spot to trade up. Is it going to be expensive? Yes. But will you have your guy potentially there depending on what Washington does at 2? Yes. So I think that everything has been ironed out, and I think that Kevin O'Connell, like, he understands, like, Thursday is going to be a big time deal, and I feel like the relationship with O'Connell and Kwesi is a very good one because I think they balance each other out. Because Kevin O'Connell was obviously very bummed that Kirk Cousins was allowed to leave, but Kwesi, I mean, he's holding the purse strings. They said it's going to cost too much, and it could be a spot where Kevin O'Connell is enamored by one of the quarterbacks in the draft, and Kwesi could be like, it's going to cost too much. But also, with Kwesi ready to ramble and gamble, up from 23, trying to get Anthony Richardson last year, I think that they will roll the dice because I think at a certain point the juice is indeed worth the squeeze. But I really did like this answer from Kevin O'Connell because it was a legit answer, right? And talking about you're looking for the guy who's going to be the guy. Just don't take a guy, find the guy, which is something I love, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Kevin O'Connell getting questions about the quarterbacks in the draft at church. Faith, one time. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.